Getting the most amount of wins in Weekend League on FIFA 23 requires you to make sure that you have full custom tactics and game plans. Today's video, we're going to run you through our ultra defensive, defensive, attacking, and ultra attacking game plan. This video is sponsored by Matchday. A massive thank you to them. We'll talk about them further on later on in the video. I'm going to start this off with a little bonus tip that I don't see a lot of people taking advantage of. With the changes to chemistry on FIFA 23, you predominantly start every game in a formation where everyone's in the positions that you kind of want them to be in. Before, you might have had Mbappe at centre mid and Kante at striker on previous FIFAs. But on this FIFA, with the position changes being limited to where that player can actually play, everyone is kind of where you want them to be. So, our 4-4-1-1, which I purely just use for chemistry purposes, that is on our balanced tactic. I really recommend you to have this on constant pressure and have this as one of your extra tactics to basically switch to a heavy press if you need to before you get a chance to pause it and maybe change to something else. Because a lot of times people tend to hold the ball and you might take 10 minutes to get that pause in, make some subs, and you can quickly just move to balanced on the D-pad to get that extra press. So there is a little bonus tip. Now, on our ultra defensive on the D-pad, which is left, 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 that is our game tactic number one. And that is going to be the 4-2-3-1. With the way that the game has changed, and like your left winger and right winger, Vinicius Junior, Salah's, your Mbappe's, your Neymar's, whoever it is that you have out on the wing, they have the ability to drive and go past. Meaning that the 4-2-3-1 has come back into the meta so well, obviously with having that cam able to link the play up, find those little triangle patterns between Neymar, De Bruyne and Salah, and obviously the through balls in behind. One of my favourite formations. This is what I would start the game in against someone that maybe I think is a little bit better than me. Maybe I just want to keep it kind of neutral and solid. And these are the tactics that we have on screen. Balance with 48 width and 55 depth. This is also what I would use to see out a game. If I'm 3-1 up in the 70th minute, this is what I would change to and play. So I don't want anything that's too aggressive here, that's too in the face of the opponent, and this works really well. Balanced and direct passing. I speak to you about this all the time. Balance for me in the build-up play is one of the best, and then direct passing is the best in the final third. What this means is that when you get the ball kind of in and around your half, none of these, like the DMs aren't running away from your fullback, for example. Your Vinicius Junior is not running away miles. Everyone takes their time in transition up that pitch. But then when you get into the final third and you get into this area here, the direct passing encourages your Mbappe to run in behind, your wingers and your cam to kind of interlink, if that's even a word, just kind of have them there and lay those balls. 61 width. The reason why I go for quite a high width on the 4-2-3-1, because if I'm seeing out the game, having good width really helps us find the wing play and actually pulls the opponent's team apart. And then I do run 7 players in boxes. It's quite high. The reason why I do this is because I love to kind of look for that cutback, and that really helps. Today's video is sponsored by Matchday.com. By clicking the link in the description, you can head over to Matchday.com and claim your first free pack. This is where you can start building your dream team ahead of the 2023 release of their football management simulation game. You can invite your friends and earn rewards while doing so, and challenge them to some World Cup predictions. Head over and see what you think the predictions are going to be for the upcoming games. You can see mine on screen, which by the time of this video coming out, the games may have already been played, and you'll have to let me know how my predictions came about. And remember, for everyone that joins using your referral link, you get packs back yourself to go ahead and keep building that team even further past the World Cup. And while you are doing all of this, you are battling against your friends on that leaderboard to see who can have the better team, climbing the leaderboard, and who can predict the correct World Cup scores. And once the World Cup is over, as explained in 2023, the football management simulation game will be dropping from Matchday, where you can use your players and build that team and see how you get on. Once again, thank you to Matchday for sponsoring this video. Make sure you click the link at the top of the description and in the comment section. Now, with our player instructions, I run balanced on our striker, no changes there. Balanced on a centre attacking mid, and the left attacking mid and right attacking mid unbalanced. What I want from these players here, these 4 attackers, is for you to be moving them the way that you want. You to trigger runs with L1 and kind of the attacking AI movement to do its job. For our right DM, this is my sense, my one that I want to stay back, the one that I don't want getting forward. This is Sissoko. He's on stay up while attacking, cut passing lanes, cover center. He does have high work rates, which can be a little bit annoying because sometimes he does sit forward a little bit too much. And then for our left defensive mid, we also have them on the same. What you need to make sure, whoever your more aggressive centre mid is, the one that can get forward, pull them forward manually, trigger runs, get them to go, because obviously they are sitting back. For our fullback, stay back while attacking, because this is our defensive and neutral formation. Next up is the 4-2-2-2, one of my favourite formations on FIFA 23. It's worked so well. We did a video on this on Wednesday and we spoke to you about it and said about how it is so effective still. We go into that in more detail. So if you wanted to watch that one, I'll leave that kind of in the description for you. You can go and have a look at that. But 4-2-2-2, that's how we have it set up. It's not all that dissimilar to the 4-2-3-1. I'd just say it invites more of a counter attack for me. I would switch to this or start the game in this if I feel like I'm better than the opponent. I can suss them out pretty quickly, and if I can kind of exploit the gaps. If they're playing a 5 at the back formation, the 4-2-2 will also work exceptionally well against that. We do run balance, 50 width and 60 depth, so a little bit more aggressive in that depth department, but still, again, a fairly neutral lineup. This isn't too aggressive for what we have. Our build-up play is balanced and direct passing. I've just spoke to you about it. I'm not going to go over it again. You know exactly why we run it with 55 width, 7 players in box and 3 corners. You might see a lot of similarity in the two formations that we have there because they're not all that dissimilar. Obviously, Neymar sits in centre attacking mid in the 4-2-3-1, but in the 4-2-2 sits up against that centre back and just allows us to look for the 1-2s a little bit easier and the counter attacking football, but still gives us the soundness in defence. As I always say, if you find it really difficult to find your right attacking mid and left attacking mid when you're building out from the back of Van Dijk and then to João Cancelo, you can use the 4-4-2 here instead if you just cannot get on with a 4-2-3-1. 4-2-2, sorry. For our strikers, completely balanced. The only difference here is that I do have these on get into the box for cross. I tend to get the cutback quite effectively with them being on that in the 4-2-2. And then for our left DM, we have this one on balanced and cover centre. This is De Bruyne. We're looking for the long shots. We're looking for the Travellas. We're looking for the finesse shots with this player. Our right DM, same as previously, stay back while attacking, cut passing lanes and cover centre, and also stay back on the fullbacks. It was a really close one between the 4-3-2-1 and the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow for me, for my more attacking-minded tactic. This is what I run on the attacking. I really like the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. I think it links up really well, but I'm also a big fan of the 4-3-2-1. The 4-3-2-1 works well for me more efficiently against 5 at the back formations and 3 at the back formations. So if an opponent is playing that, that's where I would kind of, lean on the 4-3-2-1 a little bit more. This is my aggressive tactic. This is what I tend to switch to if I'm losing 2-1 in the 60th minute. So we do go press on heavy touch. I combine this with team press on the D-pad. So I've got a little bit more press constantly going on and off on that. I don't go press on possession loss just yet, because if I'm chasing the game, say 2-0 in the 70th minute, then I just pause it and go constant pressure. But press on possession loss can also be good. But heavy touch just means it's not as aggressive, so you're not too easy to kind of get caught in behind. 49 width and 71 depth. The 71 depth, what that will do is it will cause the auto offside trap. This is where basically when the opponent has the ball, let's say if they have it out on the wing here, if they pass the ball back to the fullback, your centre-backs will just manually step up themselves like that. And they'll kind of, step up and do that auto offside trap. Combine that with your own offside trap. That is super effective. And again, balance, direct passing. A little bit narrower here, though. It is the 4-3-2-1. We obviously are looking for a narrow setup, with these 3 strikers. What you have to remember, if you're playing a 5 at the back or 3 at the back, these basically occupy all of their centre halves, which is really good, meaning you're more like attacking CMs, Neymar and De Bruyne for me, can kind of overlap or come on in the middle of it, and that helps break that down. 6 players in box, 3 corners, and 2 free kicks on this one. Just one more on the free kicks, because obviously I'm chasing the game. I'm trying to get back into the face of the opponent. Now, time for the player instructions. We do run getting behind, stay forward on all of our 3 strikers. As I said, this is aggressive. We want to score goals. We are happy to leave men forward at this point in the game, so we have to take a little bit of a risk. I do run get forward on this right centre mid. You need this player to be able to finish, to dribble, to be techie. It's just a late attacker, basically, a late running attacker, and that's Neymar for me. But cover wing, because obviously, you know, we don't really have anyone out here to help with a fullback. What this can do, though, is you can pull the Neymar out and then they can put it back into the middle and then isolate that 1 cm. So be mindful of that. The left centre mid is on balanced and cover wing. And then the central centre mid is like your DM. You know, you'll stay back while attacking, cover centre, defensive midfielder. I'm chasing the game at this point, so the fullbacks are on balanced and overlap. It is extremely attacking. You will possibly concede goals at this point, but it's the point of, if you're losing 2-0, 2-1, and it's, you know, 70, 75th minute, you have to start taking some risks. So you just have to try and defend as best as you can in this setup and this formation. But for me, that works exceptionally well. And then, yes, one of the ways that I deal with 5 at the back formations is by matching them. The 5-2-1-2 is one of my favourites on FIFA 23 if I have to run a 5 at the back. If I can't get it working with a 4-2-2-2, I would switch to this if I'm matching a 5 at the back or 3 at the back. Only if I have to as kind of a last resort. I don't particularly like doing this with this team because it doesn't really work out too well because I have like Vinicius in the middle, Sissoko at centre-half. I'd probably need to change the team if I wanted to play this formation more consistently. But either way, press on possession loss, 35 width in the narrow because I want my centre-halves to be kind of touch tight to one another. And the fullbacks will still be fairly wide just because of how many defenders that we have. I go 71 depth again for that auto offside trap. I actually press really heavily in the 5 at the back, if I'm honest with you, because I believe that basically you have this middle centre-half where you can just charge out like a madman, and then you have your 2 centre-halves kind of on that recover. So it actually works really, really well. If you do step up with a centre-half, my advice is win the ball or take the man. You win the ball or you take a free kick, one or the other. Press on possession loss here, though. I allow this because what I'm trying to do is catch them on the press with my strikers if they're passing it around their centre-halves. You will not press the ball out on the wing. Don't even try and do that. It's pointless. You don't have any wingers to press that wing play. And your wing-backs may be there, but you kind of want to get them back if you lose the ball, right? So don't worry about that. Long ball, direct passing. It's the first time you see long ball in my custom tactics and game plans because I am looking to hit on the counter in this. I'm looking to be aggressive if I can. If I can't hit on the counter, if I can't find the Neymar and then I can't find, you know, the balls in behind to Salah and Mbappe, I'm basically just waiting for Mendy and João Cancelo to sit up on here, up against the opponent's kind of fullbacks, drag them wide and exploit from that. 57 width, fairly neutral because obviously our width just comes from the wing backs and then the rest of them kind of operate in the middle of the park. 6 players in box, 3 corners, and 1 free kicks. And for the player instructions, we do go get forward, stay forward, getting behind on both of our strikers. It's the first time where we have them, you know, kind of both on that, being that kind of aggressive in the striker positions. Stay forward on our central cam. We want to hit on the counter. We want to be direct. That allows us to do that. Our right centre mid is on cover centre, along with our left centre mid. You know, I want them to get forward. I'm confident enough with the 5 defenders that I have. I allow my centre mids to kind of have a bit of freedom and do what they want. And then for your right wing back and left wing back, join the attack and overlap. As I said, you have to wait for these guys to get up to here, to be aggressive and to work and make that use efficiently. So those are my full custom tactics and game plans. Once again, thank you to Matchday for sponsoring this video. Make sure you click the link in the description and get involved with that. And if you do want to catch our 4-2-2 tactics video in more detail, click the video on the screen next to me just here and you can go ahead and do that.